I was sad, I was depressed, I was lonely, I had no joy, and I was so mad that the eating disorder wasn't giving me what I thought it would. I remember being at ballet camp away from my family, away from my friends, and I was feeling very alone, very isolated, and very, very insecure. That was the first time that I really felt any kind of self-hatred, real awareness of my body, and a real feeling of being out of control. And I do remember the day that I decided to make that first step, and I said, I'm gonna throw away my lunch today and drink a Coke instead. And I thought that would be like my first step to really getting on a good diet and controlling what I ate. And that's when kind of this seed was born of this obsession with losing weight and being thin. And it would go in waves. I would, have a couple months where I really restricted and overexercised a lot, and then a couple months where I kind of went back to normal. And it was just back and forth and back and forth. But every summer when I would go away to a summer ballet program, it would get bad again. Finally, like when I was about 15 years old, that was when I really got bad insofar. I mean, I was eating probably definitely less than 900 calories a day. And like I said, you can't live like that. I remember not being able to sleep at all, just going nights without sleep because you're so hungry, being in so much physical pain and having so little energy, and just you become a shell of a human being. And I remember going into the bathroom one night when I just could not sleep at all, and just staring at myself in the mirror and with laser beams, from my eyes on those areas of my body that I still hated. That's when I realized that I really seriously needed help. We started to drive, and I said, where are we going? I kind of picked up on it, the direction that we were driving in the car. And she said, well, actually, I'm scheduled an appointment with Dr. Roman, our pediatrician. And I just was livid. I was furious. I thought she tricked me. And I remember trying to actually get out of the car when I was moving, because I so wanted to avoid going to that doctor's office, because I think I knew deep down that I really did have a problem, and that doctor was going to know exactly what was going on with me. And he did. He knew exactly what the problem was. So he recommended us then to an eating disorder specialist in the area, and who we could go to for more specific help. And from there, I got set up with a treatment team of doctors in order to get better. Thankfully, it's been almost 10 years now since I was at my lowest point, and I worked really, really hard in recovery. And I look back at pictures and memories that I have, and it's a really sad, scary place to go back to. I don't really like to go there because my mind was so distorted. What I saw in the mirror was so different from what I actually was. When I look at how thin my shoulders were and how my ribs stuck out in ballet pictures, and how my collarbone was so protruding and you could see the bones in my chest, like, that's so sad to me. I think of how much was stolen from me because of my struggle, because of the eating disorder. It stole moments that should have been joyful, should have been happy. Graduation, from high school, which should have been happy, and yet, I lost so many friends and missed out on so many opportunities because I was sick. The thought that I could have maybe danced, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't do it and be healthy. I wish that someone had really stressed how deadly, that's a real happy thing, but how really deadly this illness is. If I had known the serious health consequences of anorexia, I probably wouldn't have gone there. No one ever talks about being, dying of malnutrition and a cardiac arrest, at 16 years old. But this stuff happens. As a parent, you don't want to lose your child to something like this that is so preventable and totally curable. So I would say, if you think that your child may be struggling with this, talk with them. And if they're in complete denial and they're pushing you away, it's probably a sign that it's a big issue. So go to a counselor, go to a professional. Don't be afraid, because you really can lose your child to this. I don't want other people to have to deal with that. I don't want the joy for other people in other people's lives to be stolen because of that illness. It's not worth it. And life can be so rich and so beautiful without that.